All right, next question. Let's see what we got here. Axel says, why was the Max and Hamilton incident dealt with after the race? Axel, honestly, I'm going to be blunt on this. I genuinely have no idea. And I don't think anyone other than those stewards have an idea as to why. Was it they weren't bothered? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Look, the only thing you could argue on that, right? Because causing a collision, it wasn't. Gaining a lasting advantage, it wasn't. So the argument was for forcing a driver. So the argument was for forcing a driver off track. You could make a real argument on that under the regulations, given that, Max basically pushed, you could make somewhat of an argument on that, given that when they hit the apex, Max's front axle was nowhere near the mirror of Hamilton. However, Max was under control. He left room and Hamilton basically just went off track himself there. So I think if Hamilton if the space wasn't left by Max, because Max took the apex pretty tightly, left more than enough room for Hamilton to stay on track as they both kind of completed the move, and Hamilton just turned off track by himself. So I think if Hamilton hadn't have just turned off track by himself, you could make the argument maybe that he'd been forced off track and that Max wasn't entitled to take the position given where his apex was under the guidelines, all of these things. But I mean, I looked at it from both onboards and from the offboard shots that we had, not the ones that the stewards had. And it was pretty clear cut to me. And then Hamilton didn't even come on the radio and complain or anything. So there was no complaint from his side. So that was a pretty clear cut, all right, let's just leave it. It didn't seem like anyone was complaining about it. And then that was backed up by the fact that after the race, when they did go to the stewards, Hamilton didn't even bother showing up. And in fact said, I just drove off track. I decided to just kind of let it go anyway. So I don't know. It was a strange one. I don't think there was an argument for it. And maybe it was a case of just the way Hamilton reacted and just kind of flung off track and let Max by. Maybe they were so confused by that they were like, okay, there must be more to this and we need to hear from the drivers afterwards. Maybe they just wanted to ask Hamilton, have you given up or what's the deal here? I don't know. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I really am getting annoyed by I think there's very, very, very few cases, given that the teams can protest if they want to, where anything should be dealt with after the race anyway. And this definitely wasn't one of them. So Axel, I don't know. I genuinely, I'm sorry I can't give you a better answer, but I am flummoxed by this one. I genuinely have no idea what the fuck they were thinking. It was okay, I don't know. If Hamilton had, like I said, if Hamilton had been complaining on the radio and they were okay, well, there must be more to this, fine. But there wasn't anything more to it and no one was complaining. So yeah, very bizarre. I don't know. It's just strange. And honestly as well, it kind of irks me and annoys me in many ways as well, because it just gives more fodder to the idea that, oh, well, the stewards just back up British bias. They're just British biased and they back that up. And I think this is just pure out and out incompetence. This is not bias. It's just incompetence. And I just don't get it, but it helps feed that fucking stupid narrative. So yeah, I don't know. Stupidity, FIA. It does back up my opinion that the FIA is too incompetent to be biased, that I've been saying for years, but I'm sorry, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.